Hey, I was supposed to be in GaryCon this weekend, but unfortunately I got canceled, and so I figured I'd give you a new video, and here we go. This is a DCC adventure that I'm going to tell you about that's brand new, and so this is going to be for judges only. So if you're a player, go watch one of my other videos that maybe you haven't watched, and let's get cracking into it. So this is The Last Will and Testament of Obediah Felkner. It's by Stephen Newton, and it's a level 1 Western-themed adventure. That's pretty cool. And it has rules in there for converting it into Dark Trails, which I'm been involved in working on that. So it's great to have an adventure that's not only can be used with DCC, but Dark Trails and a fanzine that came out a while ago called Black Powder Black Magic. So if you've got those, DCC, Black Powder Black Magic, or of course the bootleg rules, you could use this with it. And so that's excellent. It's not a very long adventure. It's probably, he says it's going to take about 4 hours, and if your players are real thorough, it'll probably take 2 sessions. But it reminds me of a movie called The Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson. And the nefarious bad guys in that movie kind of have the same goal as the bad guys in this adventure. So let's get cracking into it. You can see there up on the top. This involves an old abandoned Spanish mission in 1869 in the San Francisco Bay, San Jose area. And it's got a great history about who created it, some of the people that are there, what's inside it, as well as people that are protecting it. And the Felkners here, Obadiah and Bree, his wife, these two people are bad people. They, in essence, what they do, the gist of the story behind them is that they elongate out their mortality they live very short lives because of the spells that they do. But what they do is when one dies, the other one performs a ceremony with a religious artifact, a holy artifact, and they're able to, with the use of a goat, they're able to resurrect a body from that goat, a baby body, and then later on they do another spell and they bring their significant other back into that body. And then they continue to do that all over the world, traveling over the world looking for holy artifacts. And then they get to live their long lives and they continue to do that. Well, this Spanish mission just happens to have an artifact that Obadiah Felkner needs. In this area, he has been a predominant citizen, and he has ownership of a lucrative silver mine. And so whenever he dies from some sort of plague or pox. The players are gathered, the characters are gathered together in a lawyer's office. And when they're pretty much explained that he's going to give them the silver mine. But in order to do so, they have to go inside the mission before dawn, retrieve an artifact, the Hand of Saint Rock, I guess it's called, Rock, not sure. And then you need to retrieve it and bring it back to Bree before dawn, his wife. And so it's kind of like, hey, Brewster's Millions, you got money, but you got to do this. And if the players haven't gotten the push to do it, their attention is brought to their arms, in which they realize that they have the same pox that's affected Obadiah Felkner. So they have somehow been struck with that. Now, I think that in this part of the adventure, you're going to have some players really be like, well, what the heck's going on? Why do I have this? What did y'all do to me? So there could be a little bit of strife right there. There's a section to be able to get some rumors from some of the people that are in the lawyer's office. But it's a good push for the characters. So they're going to go to this mission, and it's been boarded up. It's been protected by, you can see here at the bottom of the left side, the International Organization of Worldly Souls. I'm just going to call them Worldly Souls. And this reminds me kind of of the group that protected the Grail in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And while they pretty much are trying to stop Indiana Jones, they're going to try to stop the players, and they don't understand the significance of what these players are trying to do. They think they might be evil, in league with the Felkners, and obviously she needs the Hand of Saint Rock to resurrect Obadiah and to create a baby and with the goat and bring him back so that later on they can do Beatty's Bane of Transference. Funny name, and obviously a kudos to Stephen Newton for sliding in David's name in there. But you can see there, when one dies, the other one uses the ritual to resurrect them as a newborn, raise them through childhood, and eventually restore their past life memories through the second ritual, Beatty's Bane of Transference. so that the process may be reciprocated. So they continue to do this. Awesome story. I like that a lot. And the skeleton key also had something quite similar to that. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the adventure. There's not a whole bunch. It's not a huge adventure. I think it's only about either 14 or 15 pages. The main full adventure is everything you get in the book, or the PDF in this case, is going to be, it's about 34 pages. But a lot of that is going to give you a new deity. This, I'm going to try to say the name. Gikik, which is the unclean, of course, has been a presence in the universe since long before modern humans took form from primordial ooze. This is going to be a being of and a power of disease and pestilence. Okay, so the Hand of St. Rock is a holy artifact that actually has a bone from the saint in it, and so they need that. Players are trying to retrieve that for her. And we'll continue on now. It starts off here, obviously telling you about the pox that they have, that the players have now received, and it's actually called Fool's Pox. It's actually not going to do anything to them in the long term. It's just going to be nasty, and it's going to slowly kind of fade away. So it's you can see here at the end of the 4th day, they will become miraculously healed, and all the symptoms suddenly fade away. So the people that are there in the lawyer's office, you find out about them. You go to the mission. It's very quick the way it jumps around, so that's good. It's going to be good for conventions. And you're going to jump around. I'm actually going to go over. You can see this is a great section here, great piece of art. And I believe that's from Stefan Pogue, who also did the map. I'm going to show you the map. That's really going to help you, since this is a little bit of a mini dungeon crawl, is what this is. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to show you the map. Here it is. So you've got a bell tower. You've got an awesome graveyard. They're going to get there at nighttime. You're going to have this really cool kind of spooky feel about it, with mist kind of, layered over the area. The place is completely disheveled, and the door is boarded up. It's got a silver wire throughout it to try to stave off the forces of evil. And so they're going to explore the graveyard. Obviously, the players are. They're going to find out some of the people that used to be there, get a little bit of history from them, from maybe how they died and stuff on their tombstones. They'll be attacked by that monster that I showed you. It's this terrible wolf thing. Let's go back over here. Cool piece of art, as it's this guy down here is getting trounced, of course, and it's a Cadejo, I guess is what it is. It resembles an enormous black dog with glowing red eyes and reeks of sulfur and urine, or urine, which I like that word. And so, cool little thing that attacks them there. It doesn't have a whole bunch of combat. This is more of a kind of a mystery, investigative, what's happening inside this place, putting the clues together. I really like that in it. A lot of times, adventures in DCC can be real meat grinders, but this is a first level adventure. It's not a funnel. So DCC is great in the funnel, but it's even better once you actually get a real leveled character. I think too many people focus on the funnel and don't actually play a first level adventure lots of times with their when they're introduced to DCC. So the bell tower is going to have some clues. Everything's going to have clues to find out what's happened to this place and what's going on, as well as the more information about the hand. You can see there's the hand on the right side. It's got an opening in it where the bone's supposed to be, but the bone is missing when you find the hand. And you're going to come across a couple of things. There's a neat section in the main area of the church, the 1-3 that you see there on the map. There's going to be a cool way that you kind of do some clue finding in there, which I think is really neat, with something kind of hidden in the player's view that they have to do through gathering clues. They'll figure out, we can figure this out by using these other clues, so to do more of the puzzle. I really enjoyed that a lot. And then they're going to find a secret passageway. It's going to take them down to the catacombs. And of course, they're going to find books and journals and stuff like that's going to help them explain more of the story. There's an adobe oven outside that has clues in it. And it's just going to be a lot of cool clue finding and unraveling this mystery as they go down into the catacombs. They finally find the body of I believe his name is Father Venancio Augusta, and he has the bone. And he's protected by a spirit pugilist, which looks like he's got the bowler hat. You can see him on the top right. Of course, there's the goat for the ritual. Awesome. Great art. There's a gargoyle that holds 2 candles. The candles are magical. Very neat. A cool item that is not only going to help you kind of ward off stuff, but illuminate some clues. And it just has a really neat kind of, dungeon crawl / investigative feel to it. Let's go back to what you're going to find. show you a little bit more art. Again, here, a terrible monster, exploring the altar that's there, the baptismal font. There's a couple handouts to give to the players. This is her. So what's going to happen is once you find the hand and you leave, whether or not you ring the tower bell, which is magical, it's going to summon up those worldly souls guys. They've been waiting. They hear the bell. They know someone's in there, and so they go and they pretty much attack the PCs. And so this is a moment of kind of like, if you figured out the clues, are you doing something good or are you doing something bad? Are these guys just misguided, or are you going to play kind of ruthless characters and gun these guys down? Are you going to try to join forces? It's kind of a mixture of a cool little standoff there about what you should do. But these guys are ready to gun you down because they think you're in league with Felkners, which you kind of are. And so whatever your choice is, if you don't go back with the hand and give it to her, she's going to continue on with the spell. She kind of switches out some ingredients in the spell, and she still has the baby that comes out of this goat who gets absolutely wrecked from the ritual, because the ritual's actually done in the graveyard that you'll see that's back in town. It's in the mausoleum there, and so you can see this terrible monster baby right here. So it went in perfect, the spell did, and it created this terrible gibbering baby thing. I think it's, I'm not exactly sure, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, the changeling ghoul is what it's called. So if you go there and you give her the hand, the players give her the hand, she's going to summon it up, but it's also going to bring forth Azza the goat demon and possibly his rat roach demonoids. And they're going to go on, that's going to be a great last battle type scene with the players. They realize that everything's gone crazy. She's actually going to teleport out of the battle. You can get one round to fight her, but you have to get crits to get her. So it kind of leaves her, by herself. She's out of the equation. Maybe you can see her in another adventure. Maybe you can expand on that. It says continuing adventure right there. This is towards the end of it. And it lets you know about what happens. Like, should this happen? What if the PCs don't have the hand, choose not to hand it over, or try to substitute a fake bone? What's going to happen? And what's going to happen too, if they let this thing go free, they don't show up at all, this goat's going to absolutely wreck, this goat demon is going to absolutely wreck the town, kill a whole bunch of people. Obviously, it's going to weigh on their minds about what happened, and they'll actually be wanted by the U.S. Marshals because they've been in league with the Felkners pretty much. So she's going to escape with the baby Felkner, the baby Obediah Felkner, and later on, of course, transfer with the ritual his old memories into the grown-up baby once it grows up. So it's a fun little story. With a great backstory to it, obviously. Here's the new magic section in it, in the appendix. It's going to have everything about the Hand of Saint Roque. It's going to have one of the guys that's part of the Worldly Souls. He's got a cool elixir that you could use. It tells you about the candles, more of the rituals, and then of course here's that section on Dark Trails, which is excellent, and how you can change it around for that. And here's some of the handouts that you have, some of the religious pieces that you find in the mission, going to give you some more information and clues about what you should do. And here's the bell tower. It's got a whole bunch of bats in it that attack, as well as these huge scorpions. And then some more clues that you find within the mission. It gives you 9 characters that you can use to run to use for playing the adventure, so that's pretty helpful. And then it's going to have a complete write-up for Gikik Kalik, I guess its name is, if you want to use that as a patron. Spells, disapproval, the whole 9 yards, and then here again is the map. So overall, it seems like a fun adventure. It's not extremely combat heavy. You could always add in some new stuff if you wanted more combat, but I think you could get this done in a good session if everybody really knuckles down and gets involved and figures out the clues. And then they're going to have some interesting choices to make when it comes to the Worldly Souls guys, whether or not they give back the hand, and what's going to happen afterwards. So it's got a great beginning, middle, and end, and then onward. So yeah, fun adventure, great. Love this map. There could be a couple more pieces of art I would like for there to be, but again, as you've seen my videos, I love a bunch of art, but I love what is shown in here, and it just seems like a really fun thing to run. So there it is, the Last Will and Testament of Obediah Felkner. It's available on his website, on Steven's website for Thick Skull Adventures, and down the road, hopefully in April sometimes, it'll be available on Drive-Thru RPG. So down in the description, I'll have the link for his website, and then once the drive-through RPG links show up, I'll put them down there as well. So there it is. Cool adventure that you can run with DCC, and he's tested it with all of them: DCC, Black Powder, Black Magic, and Dark Trails. So you're set if you want to run it, and with just a couple changes, you easily have a fantasy-based DCC adventure. Or you can try to do it in its straight Western way, or try to play it with the new Dark Trails, which of course I highly recommend. It's obvious I would say that. So there it is. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.